It's been my experience, and it's really crystallized over the last 12 months, and I started verbalizing this, is that all meaningful progress in one's health journey, for the most part, tend to track through one of three pillars.
Mm-hmm.
You either make meaningful progress through optimizing the way you eat or feed your body,
Mm-hmm.
or you make meaningful progress by improving or optimizing the way you move or challenge your body physically. And then probably the most underrated of all is that you can improve meaningfully your health by improving or optimizing the way you recover your body on a daily basis. So these are the three pillars: eating, moving, and recovering. This episode, we're going to go deep into eating,
Mm-hmm.
how to think about optimizing your diet, and we'll do the other pillars in the subsequent episodes. And within each episode, we're going to talk about them in layers, where it starts with thinking about the topic, like how do we need to be thinking about the way we eat? And then next, it will be how do you experience this physically? Like how do many people feel physically when they map out or march out these behaviors? And then lastly, how does it make them feel, mostly emotionally?
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is the emotional experience when you get an optimal dietary strategy deployed?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really interesting way to think about this, and we hope it's useful. Let's start with thinking. How do you need to be thinking about your diet? And I will briefly, for context of those that don't know anything about us, you know, Jen and I began our journey professionally together about 10 years ago in the obesity space, really exclusively dealing with weight and weight-related diseases. And we have thousands of hours of experience with real humans who are really struggling. And I think that we have uncovered a lot of really interesting truths about this. But like all things, all progress begins with telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And the truth is, humans, the only purpose of the human body is to stay alive. That's what we're designed to do. Every system and backup system we have is with the singular goal of don't die.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to eat in order to get energy so that we can achieve the goal of not dying. And for all of documented human history, prior to mass agriculture in the late 1800s, early 1900s, but certainly by the 1950s, the obesity rates in the world were less than 5%,
Mm-hmm.
like 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're approaching obesity rates, approaching a third of the U.S. adult population.
Mm-hmm.
We have a real problem. And prior to these mass-produced, primarily grains, humans spent the majority of their time not eating.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't wake up and go right to the pantry and start nibbling, and you certainly didn't have a snack every 2 hours, and you didn't have a late night snack. You got up and you got about your business. And if you were lucky, at the end of the day, you had a meal.
Mm-hmm.
We had a very fasted lifestyle, and we've adapted well to that.
Mm-hmm.
There were no metabolic disease. There was, et cetera, et cetera. And now, in an area where, in a time where we have abundance, we're not doing very well.
Right.
We're not doing very well at all with all of this excess.
Mm-hmm.
This is what metabolic disease is. It's too much.
Mm-hmm.
It's too many grains. It's too much blood sugar. It's too much blood pressure. It's too much cholesterol. It's too much. And this is fueling the diseases of diabetes, heart
Mm-hmm.
disease, cancer. I mean, what is cancer? Cancer is too much cell growth.
Yep.
We need intentional deprivation with very focused periods of time to eat, and which is why we believe that the best dietary strategy framework for most people, there are a handful of people where this is not going to work well, is a fasted lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Whether that's 12 hours a day, 18, 24-hour fast, at least 12 hours a day not eating is a basic jumping off point for most people. If you're not at least doing that, it's kind of like X on the map, start here.
Yeah.
And we talk about this a lot, but we talk about freedom and discipline. Mm-hmm. And it's not being disciplined for discipline's sake. It's being disciplined in the things that we know will map us towards the thing we want. Mm-hmm. And if we want health and we want to feel good and we want vitality and we want longevity and health span, we have to figure out and crack the code of eating and how we feed our body. And being disciplined can be really, really overwhelming when you're being inundated with optionality and this diet and this and that and cut this out or add that and all you need to do is this. And it's too complex.
Yeah.
And it's confusing, overwhelm sets in and people go, bah. There's something about fasting, committing to a fasted lifestyle, whatever that means for you. And we've created a lot of content around this in the past that people can search for, or we give you kind of playbook of how to fast. But Jen, talk to me about, because you and I privately talk about freedom, my personal freedoms that have come when I fired Fat Aaron. It's been about 5.5 years.
Oh, yeah. You've done amazing.
But it was the first domino to fall. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, my career, my marriage, my parenting, my ability to lead, all of these things begin to start moving in a positive direction by just me getting control of what I'm putting in my body as a source of fuel.